Hey YouTube, the stupidity of people amuses me and amazes me. I don't know why I should be amazed, should be used to it by now. I was watching some videos about everyday carry. A lot of people were showing stuff that they carried in their pockets to an office job, and they would have 4 pounds of crap in their pockets like they were going to the North Pole or getting dropped in the jungle in the middle of Africa to survive for 2 weeks with nothing but what they had in their pockets. That is funny to me, but I don't know if some of these people think they're MacGyver or if they're planning on going to be on the Let's Make a Deal game show, if anybody remembers that. But they were pulling an ungodly amount of stuff out of their pockets, and they worked in an office in a cubicle where they will never use any of it. So I think you need to carry things that are useful. If you're going to have your pockets stuffed with crap, at least have stuff in them that you might have a chance of using every now and then. What I carry in my pockets every day, I carry keys. Everybody's got keys. If you got to carry keys, I'm finding that this key bar is the way to carry them. I have 8 keys on here for different things that I use every day. I don't really have any keys on here that I don't use. I know some guys that's got 200 keys in their pockets every day. I don't know what they're doing with them, and I bet they don't even know what 80% of them are for. But there's my keys. So far, I'm liking this key bar. It's an easy way to carry your keys. I have no complaints about it as of yet. I've only been using it for a week or so. I'm going to give it a good month, but I may do a follow-up review on it. But there is my keys. That same pocket, I have a flashlight, a small 2 AAA battery flashlight. It's a Snap-on flashlight. Bought this off the Snap-on truck. I'm sure I paid too much, but the one good thing is if it breaks or quits working, I can hand it back to the Snap-on man and he'll hand me another one, no questions asked. I like the light. It has the tail cap button, 2 brightnesses, or you can twist it and it'll stay on all the time. So it's a good light. It's bright. It runs on 2 readily available AAA batteries. So that's all I got in that pocket. My other pocket, all I have is a knife. Now, this particular knife is a Cold Steel Recon 1. Made in Taiwan. Yeah, that's right, Taiwan. The only reason I'm carrying this is because I don't care if I break it. I'll probably open a paint can with it if I have to. But it's a good knife. You know, you have to do a little work on these Cold Steels when you get them. The clip is extra tight, and the texturing on these G10 handles is rough, really rough. And if you start clipping that on your pants, it'll shred the pocket of your pants in no time flat. So what most people do is take this clip off and sand this G10 down smooth under the clip. And I did that. I bent the clip a little to make it to loosen it up just a little, and it's a lot better. So I got smooth G10 under the clip, which really don't hurt it any. It's still rough down here and the other side. So I didn't affect the grip any. The other thing I did to this Cold Steel was they come coated with a black Teflon coating on the blade, on all the metal parts for that matter. The lock, this bar up the back, which is the lock, the blade and the pocket clip are all coated in a black Teflon type coating. Now I took this completely apart and bead blasted that black coating off, because it comes off anyway, and I don't know what it's made out of. It don't stick very well. I didn't really want it coming off. If I was using this knife to cut up an apple or something, I didn't want to eat that black Taiwan, Teflon, napalm, whatever they make it out of over there. So I bead blasted it off. It looks a lot better if you ask me. It's a nice finish under it. I don't know why they put it on there, but I got it off there. If you have access to a bead blaster, I suggest you do it. There's probably other ways to get it off as well. I mean, it come right off in a bead blaster. Didn't hurt the knife at all. Didn't take 30 seconds to get it off of there. And eventually it'll wear off. But in that process, it's going to look rough, and who knows if you're going to eat any of that or not if you use this knife to cut an apple or an orange or whatever. Now, the other knife I carry sometimes, or most of the time in fact, is the Benchmade Mini Griptillion. Benchmade, made in the U.S. Made in the USA, in America, by Americans. So therefore, I don't mind paying a little extra for the Benchmade. Now, this particular model here is the Mini Griptillion. As I said, you can get it with a hole in the blade like a Spyderco, and it's kind of a modified sheep's foot blade. I'm not real happy with the shape of that blade. I thought the hole would be useful, but it's not needed. This knife opens one hand by just pulling the lock tabs back and flipping it. It opens no problem. I don't care for spring assisted knives because I like to be able to open them as well as close them with one hand easily. A lot of the spring assisted knives will open quick, but they're a pain in the rear end to close, and you pretty much need two hands to close them. So I don't use the spring assisted knives, but I don't mind paying for a quality knife. I have a lot of people say they don't want to buy a Benchmade or even a cold steel. I think it's cold steel, you can pick it up for 60 bucks or less. This Benchmade around 90, maybe less than that if you find a deal on it. A lot of people say they don't want to spend that kind of money on it because they'll lose it. Well, I don't have a problem losing stuff out of my pockets very often. Now, if you got a problem with losing stuff, maybe you don't want a good knife. I don't know. But if you got a problem with stuff flying out of your pockets, maybe you need to tighten that belt clip up a little instead of loosening it, or maybe you need some smaller pants. I don't know. I've never had a problem with losing pocket knives, and I've never really found any pocket knives. So all these people that are telling me they lose them, I don't know where they're losing them because I ain't finding them. But one that I carry also every now and then is this Benchmade. This is a flipper. It's got a little tab on the back. It sticks out. You can flip it open. It's not spring loaded. And it's smooth. I can open it and close it with one hand. There's several different ways to open it. You can use the thumb stud and open it. It's really smooth opening, smooth closing. So you get what you pay for in the knife world. These knives will not only hold up, they'll hold an edge. That's where you're paying the money. I don't really get into the different types of steel. Now this Benchmade here has got 154 cm. The cold steel, I believe, is what it's called, AUS 8. You can look them up. There's people that really get into the different kind of steel on the different kind of knives, but if you buy a quality knife, you'll get a quality steel, and it'll hold an edge. Now, you can get this Benchmade, I know, with a half serrated blade. I don't like serrated blades. I've always been told that a serrated blade was made because sometimes people that don't know how to sharpen a knife need to cut something too. So I guess that's probably true. I don't know. Some people say that the serrated blade is better for cutting rope, or I don't believe it is. I believe if you know how to sharpen a knife, you can put an edge on a smooth blade. It'll cut a rope just as good as a serrated blade. But I know there's some people out there that can't sharpen a knife, so maybe the serrations is what they need. Or maybe there's another use for them that I don't know about. But I know you can get the Benchmade half serrated. I'm not sure about the cold steel. You can get this cold steel in a tanto shaped blade, which is like this Benchmade here is tanto. It's kind of more of a blade that's made for stabbing than it is for cutting. If you ask me, it's a real strong tip on it. It's kind of cut on an angle. I don't know. I guess that's alright. I find that to be a little harder to sharpen. But you can get both these knives in different blade configurations. I'll probably order me another Benchmade Griptilian with the regular clip point blade without the hole. I thought the hole would be nice, kind of like a Spyderco, but it's not necessary. I don't use it, so I don't need it. I think I'd rather have the clip point blade than this modified sheep's foot. But I carry this cold steel quite a bit, because a lot of times I'm cutting stuff that I probably shouldn't be cutting. I'm prying, I'm doing stuff with it that I shouldn't be doing, and I really don't want to do it with a Benchmade. But this Taiwanese cold steel, I don't mind. I'll open a paint can. If I break the tip of it off, I'll throw it in the dumpster and get another one. I really don't care. Now, if I broke the tip off my Benchmade, it might hurt my feelings a little. But it ain't gonna bother me to break this. But this is a good knife. Now, just because it's made in Taiwan, it's still a decent knife. Cold steel makes a lot of crazy looking knives. They only make a few that don't look ridiculous. This one, I think there's one called the Lawman. And their AK-47 is getting out there, but it's still halfway normal. But look up the Cold Steel website. They make a lot of crazy stuff. But this Recon is probably just one of the most normal looking knives they make. And they make it in 4 different sizes. I believe this is the Recon Mini, 3 1/4 inch blade, I believe it is. This is the Recon Micro. Keep it on the keychain or in the pocket. It's a little 1 inch, maybe 1 1/4 inch blade. I carry that in my pocket sometime. It's handy, and it's tough too. It's a tough knife. It's also made in Taiwan. Gotta love that about them. But that's all I carry. I don't have my pocket stuffed. I mean, some of these people empty in their pockets, got a pile of stuff. I don't know how they keep the pants on. And then they go sit in the cubicle all day and type on the computer. That's funny to me, but I figured I'd make my own little EDC video, and that's what I carry. And that's all I got room for in my pants anyway. So, thanks for watching.